Hi, everybody. I'm Nanette Kennedy, and I'm with Humanities Team and the Evolution Revolution. And this is the Neale Walsch book discussion group. And we meet weekly, and we are reading The Only Thing That Matters by Neale. And we're, I believe, on chapter 20. I will let Linda, our reader, go into any more detail. And today is August 15th. I almost said July. This summer has gone way too fast. Anyway, why don't you take it away, Linda?
Okay, so we are reading The Only Thing That Matters, which is Conversations with Humanity, Book 2 by Neale Donald Walsch. We're on chapter 20, which is on page 104, which puts us about 45% through. And the title of this chapter is What the Path of the Soul Is Not. Let's be clear about something before we go on, before we describe what it means to focus your life on what one desires by following the path of the soul. People do not leave the path of the soul because they do not want to stay on the path. They leave the path because they don't know what the path looks like. People get off the path by mistake, not by intention. They would rather stay than stray, but they stray from the path nonetheless, because some of the tracks away from the path have been taken by so many and are so well worn that they look like the path. The pursuit of love looks like the path. The pursuit of security looks like the path. The pursuit of success looks like the path. The pursuit of power looks like the path. The pursuit of money looks like the path. The pursuit of happiness looks like the path. The pursuit of sex looks like the path. The pursuit of popularity looks like the path. The pursuit of peace looks like the path. The pursuit of social justice looks like the path. None of these trails are the path, but all of these can look from time to time exactly like the path, appearing to be the walkway that will take you where you want to go, especially if you aren't entirely clear about where you want to go, much less the fastest way to get there. If the first step toward the actual path is what you believe about God, the purpose of your life, if the first step toward the actual path is what you believe about God, the purpose of your life, and about your soul, the second step is moving into clarity about where you want to go. You have to want to go where the soul is going, not where the body or the mind sometimes wish to go or think they should be going. The soul is going to a place called completion, and that goal can be reached on a moment-to-moment basis, step by step, stage by stage in one's life. If you've jumped ahead to this conversation without reading all of part 2, you have missed the deeper explanation of that. You may think then that life is about some longer range goal or some loftier aspiration, or about some more particular or more easily articulated and generally agreed with outcomes as those listed above. You can be excused for holding such notions because some of these, at least, are exceedingly worthwhile objectives. Who can argue with the creating of love, peace, or social justice as a goal of one's life? A soul knowing. Taking the path of the soul will change everything. Only if we are spiritually awakened, or if we have spent a lifetime working for those other things and having achieved those goals, at least in part, found that this is not it, and we are still not fulfilled, could we know that the path of the soul must be going somewhere else. Further, only if we take the path of the soul to that somewhere else place could we know that in that place will be found all the things we were looking for and struggling to create by leaving the path, including everything on the list above. You can, as was said earlier here, trust that if the whole of humanity paid attention to the soul's agenda and to what it takes to complete it, the items on the above list and the many other things that all humans hope for would then show up in our world automatically. It's already occurring that way in individual lives all over the planet. So what does it look like to take the path of the soul to express and experience what one desires? It will change everything. It will change how you think, how you feel, how you speak, how you act, how you interact, how you love, how you work, how you play, how you eat, and yes, even how you sleep. You will sleep better than you have ever slept before because your mind will be more rested than it has ever been before, because your heart will be more open than it has ever been before, because your soul will be more heard than it ever has been before. You will still do many of these same things you did before, but you will do them for a different reason, in a different way, with a different purpose, seeking a different outcome and producing a different result. You will suddenly seem very clear about the why behind every what that is occurring in your life. And when you are clear about the why, you will intuitively know what to do about what is occurring, and it will not occur to you to do anything else. Doing this will not be absent from your life, but it will be henceforth be a reflection, a demonstration, and an announcement of where you are, rather than an attempt to get somewhere. Abruptly, everything will seem perfectly okay in your life, just the way everything is, even if yesterday you would have called the way things were not okay. You will feel this sudden shift, not because you will have become apathetic to the way things are, but precisely the opposite, because you have become fully responsive to how things are. You will be fully responding, that is, from the totality of you, from your body, your mind, and your soul, rather than from your body or your mind alone, which is how most people on earth have been responding to most occurrences most of the time, which in turn is why 98% of the people have spent 98% of their time on things that don't matter. End of chapter.
Thank you. And just FYI, I got a note from Ann Derby. She can't make it tonight for her. It's interesting. One of the things I do for Humanities Team is I watch every video program that comes through our doors, because we have a thing called Humanities Stream. It's kind of like Netflix, but with the spiritual focus. And we have over 500 hours. I'm watching one right now that seems like it is 500 hours. It's like, oh my gosh. But something that was said here reminded me of something I saw in this one I'm looking at. I'm proofing them, that's what I'm doing. But somebody in this person's audience asked, I don't know where my soul is. And so they put up a picture of a car and a person in the car. And she said, the car is your body. The person inside the car is your soul. Well, someday the car will wear out, but your soul will not. And I thought that was a really good explanation. And something you just read here made me think of that. So I thought I'd share that over.
So the thing that struck me is this business about the why and the what. So he says you will suddenly become very clear about the why behind every what that is occurring in your life. And my experience in life has been that we tend to get bogged down in the whys. We ask, why is this happening? And in my experience, it's the answer, it's the question of, what am I going to do in response to what's happening, that's more important than the why of what's happening. So that whole little section there was a little confusing for me, because he's focusing on those two words, and I'm really locked into not thinking about the why. There's, in my experience, there's little value in thinking about why something has happened. It happened because it happened. It happened because the energy brought it. It happened because it exists. It is. It's, what is your response? In my experience, is the most important question that you can ask. So that brought that up for me.
Yeah, I used to worry about the why a lot more, and it really is a very stressful place to be. And I think for me, this whole concept of surrender, which I used to have a lot of trouble with, to me, the why is just because, right? Because it is, that's what's happening. And if I can, because why to me brings up the struggle energy. And if I can just go, okay, this is what's happening. It's like, this is what life has brought me. Therefore, this is what's supposed to be in front of me. And like you say, Linda, what do I do with it now? Where do I go from here? And from a place of, as much as I can, accepting that this is where I am. And, I talk it much better than I do it, just so I put that out there. So y'all don't think that I'm actually, as zen about it as I sound. Sometimes it's like, there's still that energy of now this, but it's still different now that I've just accepted. It's also, the thing for me, and the path and getting off the path and all that, I don't resonate with that stuff very much, because for me, whatever is coming is my path, and that's where I'm walking, and that's what I'm working with. So frankly, a lot of this didn't really resonate with me, and that's okay, because there's stuff that does resonate deeply, but like all that stuff about what people think of as the path, success, love, money, power, blah, 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 blah. I was never really into most of those, except for love and happiness and peace and social justice. I guess that's half. Anyhow, I don't know. That's probably all I need to say.
I think you made really good points. And for me, as you were reading, one of the things that occurred to me was, it's like when you have a toddler who's always asking why. Why is the sky blue? Why do I have to wear these shoes? Why can't I wear cowboy boots with my shorts? Why, it's just, that's what it brought for me, is it's very much childlike, because they're very inquisitive. But I think as we get older, the why it's sort of a why me
Mm.
instead of, because I might ask you, well, why did you want to jump out of an airplane? I mean, I might ask that. But I understand the difference of a small child versus an adult asking that question. Over.
I can say something about this.
Yeah.
I don't really remember if I asked why, because I have surrendered to that. I have trusted that I'm taking where I should be, and I
Right.
relapse into that state. And things have unfolded in a way that I couldn't believe, but things have also gone apart in a way that I couldn't plan. But
Yeah.
I have never been. I don't be stressed for that. I go deeper and see, okay, here is something I should see. There is something I should learn from this. There is something deeper to see. As I said, beyond every darkness is an even brighter light. So it is something, and I don't say my soul, because who am I? I am that energy, the source, and that is when I surrender to that. That guides me and release me from where I shouldn't be and open up doors. Yeah, it has been my whole life in that way, in a peculiar way. I don't understand how it came, but I don't need to understand. I just accept it. This is my life. So I don't struggle with why. So many things that happen in my life. I don't even struggle with why my daughter died, because it happened. It happened. And actually, I met a woman when I was on a festival, music festival, this week when I was away, and I met a woman that I haven't met in some years. She's 1 year older than I am, and I met her 2 years ago last time with her daughter. We were at the same place at that time, and 2 days after that, they were talking in telephone. She was talking with her daughter in telephone, and the daughter was sitting in the bath. What do you call that when you put water and you sit in the water?
Tub.
Yeah, in Sweden. Yeah, she was sitting there talking, and the daughter got the epileptical thing and drowned while they were talking. And I mean, she could talk to me because I have been with my daughter when my daughter died. She hasn't been able to talk to anyone about this experience. Can you imagine sitting talking with your daughter? She was 42, the daughter, and the mother was 75. And she heard that she got the epileptical thing, and she drowned and died.
That's terrible.
Yeah, but what to say? It happened. You
Yeah.
can say why. Who can ask? Who can tell you why? Her time was over. Like my daughter. Why? No, it happened. So that's my reflections about it. We are that energy. If we can go deeper, beyond all separation, beyond all mind thinking and all, we can surrender to life takes us where we are to be. And
Yeah.
when we leave this body, we are in a way at home. It's not, death is not something bad. It's not something that we need to push that we should, but when it comes, it comes.
Right.
That's how I feel. Okay, thank you. Over.
Thank you. That's a horrible thing, though, about the woman who lost her daughter while she's on the phone with her. But there's a reason for everything. So
Yeah, but it was very special to be with her. I spent many
Yes.
hours with her, and yeah, I don't meet many people in my own age, but she's 1 year older than I am. So we had spent very good time together. And our hearts became connected because we didn't blame. We said, oh, poor you. No,
Yeah.
it happened. We just surrendered to it. What happened? Okay.
I'm
Thank you.
glad that she had the opportunity to be with you.
Yeah. And I had an opportunity to be with her
Yes.
also.
Yes.
Thank you.
There's
Beautiful.
perfection in every moment. It's just whether we are able to see it or not.
Yes. The phrase I have found helpful is allowing the unfoldment, because it's an unfoldment. So we don't see the whole picture. We see the little bit that's in front of us. And as it continues to unfold, we might get more bits, or we might get bits of entirely different things. And the point is, for me, is just to allow. And, it's easy to allow when things are what I want, and it's harder to allow sometimes. When things are like, not what I wish they were. And that's the, surrendering part that Bima knows how to do intuitively since birth. I think that part, maybe we do come in with that, but most of us don't keep it because we get separated from everything we knew.
Hi, Romy. Glad to have you with us. I think of things in the moment of like a tragic moment. And I was blessed that my son lived through it. But I can remember when he fell skateboarding and he was going downhill. He was going very fast and he didn't have a helmet on.
Mm.
And when I got to the scene of the accident, they were putting him on one of those broken backboards. And I remember thinking, I didn't say it out loud, but I remember thinking, why the hell did he not have his helmet on? And it's an unanswerable question. It doesn't matter. He didn't have it on.
Right.
So I think it sometimes it's just a knee-jerk kind of question where I'm not really looking for that why or the answer to the why. It's something, it's just I think can be a knee-jerk response to something. Oh,
It can also be, oh, go ahead.
Yes, it's okay. I am thinking because I have read, of course, some books of Neale and Walsch, and it's written that exterior world is not important; it is important inner experience. But if it's not important, what is outside? Why are different experiences in the life? And I also read in one book that to soul is important how is the experience that will be important for the soul. How is this important? And also I was thinking where is written that in my world nothing is real, how to say that things are how we define the things. And then I'm thinking the body is not real, nothing is real. But what is real then? I don't know, maybe you are more developed than me, but do you know what is real? I don't know what is real. There is nothing real. Nothing is real in my experience. It's written all where you look around, nothing is real. But what is then real? Over.
The opportunity. That's what's real. The opportunity to experience whatever it is you're experiencing in that moment. That's what's real.
But then it's important what is the experience of the exterior thing. What is? It's important and not important. Let's be, it's harder to respond to some things than to some other things. Don't know. It's easy to respond where all goes well, but when it does not go well, then I don't know, maybe we are here maybe because of these hard moments. I don't know. Or
Hi.
Hi,
Low.
Romy.
Yeah, I had some technical issues. Now I'm still on the mobile phone, but my laptop, yeah, it shows me only Blackboard. Yeah, and my mobile phone, the connection is now getting better, but I had some getting down from the connection. So yeah, it's a bad thing, but okay, it can happen.
Well, you're here now, and that's what counts.
Okay.
We could say, why?
Because I just answered me the question. No, I just tell myself, Romy, see the chance in it, because it's or see what's the present in it. I can detox and be away from computer also, but okay, yeah.
I agree. Well, I do that sometimes. It's something like my computer goes down or the power goes off. I think, well, I guess I need a break.
Yeah, right now it's very much a tendency on many places that technical objects or computers or even internet lines or whatever server, they have some, in the last few days I heard from some people, they have got issues with, yeah. Whatever.
Yep.
And welcome, Mirko.
Shall I
Okay.
keep reading?
It's good to have you here. Yes, I think we should go ahead and read the next chapter.
Okay.
And that would be chapter 21.
21, page 107. A look at what one desires and what one does on the path. While the way to know what one desires is to bring your soul into your mind, combining the two into one, the way to express what one desires is to then bring the body into this process. This is called integration. It brings the whole of you into integrity. Now, the Holy Trinity is completely realized, made real in you. This is what spiritual mastery is all about. When, in any moment, the three aspects of the totality of you are fully integrated, in that moment that the only thing that matters is what one desires, you have reached completion. You have mastered the moment. What one desires manifests through you, in you, as you. The body, the mind, and the soul outpicture in the physical realm that which is known in the spiritual realm. Divinity is then experienced, and this experience is created through what you are being, not through what you are doing. Each time you are being love fully, you have taken the path of the soul and you have achieved completion. You are there, you have arrived, you have reached your destination. Each time you are being understanding fully, you have taken the path of the soul and you have achieved completion. You are there, you have arrived, you have reached your destination. Each time you are being compassion fully, you have taken the path of the soul and you have achieved completion. You are there, you have arrived, you have reached your destination. Each time, in every nanosecond that you are demonstrating patience, caring, tenderness, clarity, kindness, wisdom, generosity, acceptance, goodness, or charity fully, you have taken the path of the soul and you have achieved completion. You are there, you have arrived, You have reached your destination. A soul knowing. You are proceeding to the next stage in your spiritual evolution. If there is a moment when you are demonstrating all of these things simultaneously, you have in that moment, in that nanosecond, no further to go. You have expressed and thus experienced divinity at the highest level of which your present level of consciousness is capable. The exciting thing is your level of consciousness will then immediately expand, allowing you to move further into grander and grander experiences. This is precisely what is happening now. This is exactly what is occurring as you are reading this book. And during these very days and times in your life, you have achieved all of these things one by one. And yes, you have even achieved these things simultaneously already in your life. Now you are going to the next level. Now you are proceeding to the next stage of your spiritual evolution. Since you so easily remember all of this now, the question becomes, why don't you remember it at the moment when you are stepping to the next stage and could use these reminders? In the nanosecond when your choice to demonstrate and personify these aspects of divinity at the next highest level could alter a moment dramatically and change your life, not to mention the life of another. As it is, these are still moments in your life when you do not feel loving, understanding, compassionate, or there are still moments in your life when you do not feel loving, understanding, compassionate, patient, caring, tender, clear, kind, wise, generous, accepting, good, or charitable. Why not? Especially when you know that this is the very way you would feel if you were being your highest self. Why can't you rise to that level more often at will and stay there? It would be nice if everyone were muted. It could be because in some of the moments when life conditions are inviting you to absorb more of the awareness of your soul, your sponge is full, cannot soak up any more of the ocean, and simply needs to be wrung out. In such moments, your mind loses touch with your soul, forgets some of what the soul knows, and imagines that you are being attacked or are about to be, and must defend yourself because it imagines that your first priority is to survive. Or it could be that your mind believes that you are about to lose something, or have already lost it, or are being denied something, or have never had it, or are being made wrong about something, or are losing control of something, if not everything. Or it could be that you feel you just don't have the time and energy right now to keep plugging away, to keep plowing ahead, your face constantly to the wind. Maybe you just like the wind at your back for a while, for just a few blessed moments. Thank you very much. What you need are tools, devices, methods or approaches that could place the wind at your back, that could give you smooth sailing for a while, that could clear the path for at least a little bit, the part just ahead, so that every single step did not have to be a major struggle requiring a major effort. Well, you've come to the right place. You've brought yourself to the right place. You've created this place through you, no, I think there's a typo here. You created this place through your own willingness to be here. You demonstrated that willingness the moment you picked up this book. And it goes deeper than that. End of chapter.
Thank you. Anybody have anything they want to add at this moment?
I want to keep reading. That's me.
Is everybody else good with that for right now?
I don't know. I have read in one book that I think was Krishnamurti that did not care what is happening around him, and that his students could not understand this. But I don't know. I think from this that only we have to be in some certain state, compassion, love, and so on. I think like this, over.
Thank you. Okay, let's,
Keep going.
unless somebody's going to ask something or say something, you don't have to ask anything. Okay, let's keep going.
Okay. Chapter 22. Who are you and who am I? My dear soul friend, are you beginning to see what is going on here? It is your deep desire to call forth your own wisdom, your own awareness of how to solve the unavoidable, intractable, and oppressive problems of everyday life, pocketbook issues, work stresses, relationships, etc., that is projecting that wisdom and awareness outward into your exterior world, just as it always has, causing your own inner knowing to show up as a book or a movie or a lecture, or the chance utterance of a friend on the street, or the lyrics of the next song you hear on the radio. These little incidents in life are co-created by you and many other souls. That is why they are called coincidences. You are constantly co-creating your reality with the rest of you. You begin to understand this as you begin to remember that we are all one, and that the other people on the earth are simply the rest of you. Moving from the knowing to the experiencing of this is the ultimate expression of completion. It is when you have experienced yourself fully, not only as one of the aspects of divinity, love, compassion, understanding, patience, acceptance, etc., but as every aspect in every one of its endless manifestations. It is when you experience all of oneness all at once. It is at this moment that you can identify with both the victim and the perpetrator, with both the person wearing the white garment and the dark garment, knowing that you yourself have worn both at one time or another, and that you love and forgive yourself still, because you know that confusion is not a crime, and that villainy in any form is all a form of simple forgetting. Such holding of the total awareness of the soul in the total comprehension of the mind is more normal and more usual than you think. Again, the trick is to keep it there. A soul knowing. Your soul holds a complete awareness of ultimate reality. Now, have you not ever noticed how often it is that just when your mind seeks to regain its total comprehension, when the need for an answer to some particular life drama becomes most acute, the right and perfect answer often spontaneously pops up right in front of your face as part of life itself from a seemingly separate source? Yet, what if there is no such thing as a separate source? What if there is only one source, and that source lies within you? What if it sometimes manifests outside of you, but originates within you? Can you conceive of such a thing? Okay, let's talk about this single source that lies within all of us. In some conceptualizations, including the message of Conversations with God, CWG, that inform this text, it is called the soul. CWG says that your soul holds a complete awareness of ultimate reality. That is, it knows whence it came, where it is now, and that to which it shall return. It is from this vast awareness that your soul retrieves the data and co-creates with other souls the conditions, situations, and circumstances arising before you in just the right way, at just the right time in your life, even as it is doing right now. Indeed, this is the soul's job. This is the soul's purpose and function. Many people have lived their whole lives without hearing that. Perhaps you are one of them. If you are, all of your life you've heard about the soul, the soul, the soul, but no one could ever tell you why you had one. Many people may have told you that you had one, but no one told you why you had one. Now you know why. You remember your soul's purpose and function. But be careful. If you are not careful, it could look as if this book just told you that, when in fact your own soul just told you that. Are you seeing how this all works? Your soul called this forth, bringing it before you from within you, even as your mind will insist on imagining that it is coming from somewhere outside of you. Your soul will continue to use all sorts of methods and approaches, even those that bypass your mind, indeed, especially those, in order to rouse your mind, thus to educate your mind about how to meet the challenges and overcome the obstacles of day-to-day life. It will also use tools and devices that appear to be totally separate from the mind, such as a book that you just happened to pick up. In this way, it will appear to the mind that one has found the answer elsewhere. In the beginning of one's life quest for greater truth, when one is a seeker, this often makes the answer more acceptable, because not many people are ready at this early stage to embrace the notion that they had the answer all along. You, however, are no longer at the beginning of your quest. You are hardly an early stage seeker. You are now a serious student, or you wouldn't be reading this. So you are very ready now to dance with the idea that all the awareness you will ever need to solve all the problems you will ever have is and has always been within you, and that you are simply calling it forth from time to time, using a variety of methods and devices, some of which have made it appear as though the awareness you are seeking is being found outside of you. To others, looking from the sidelines of your life, it may very well seem this way. You've no doubt told your family and friends, I just read the greatest book, or I've just seen a fabulous movie, or I just heard a marvelous lecture. And then when they see some change in you, they naturally assume that the book, the movie, or the lecture is the source of your new awareness. Nothing could be further from the truth. End of chapter.
Thank you. Anybody want to make a comment or have a thought about this?
Not directly, but I think the mind plays a major role in it, because he likes to, our mind likes also to trick us out.
Likes to what? I didn't catch that.
No, because I think our mind also, we like to have it like usual. And when something occurs, see a problem, so it means it's out of usual. So it's just, it's something is then going on, and we sometimes, if we are not aware of it, we get stressed. If we are aware of it, we can say, okay, I mean, I just experience sometimes with me when I say, okay, this has happened, when I see that right at the moment something is happening and I don't go into it, I'm just stepping back and I'm aware and say, okay, what's the chance, or what will me this say, or so, then I'm fine. But sometimes I'm triggered by few other things, and then I just jump into it and get and involve myself into the problem, and I think then it doesn't become smaller, then it becomes bigger.
Yeah, thank you.
I think that this, what is told there, that is not just for us, it's for everyone. That's the humanity's change. That is the only way, because we can see when people are suffering, and we have to maybe to teach or tell them what, and if I can take this inside and live it from there, that's the best thing I can contribute to the humankind. That's how I feel. I have tried to do so many things in my life, but in one way I have given up and say, okay, I cannot. And we look today, when we have this technical opportunity to see what's happening in the world, all the horrible things that are happening to people, and they are part of me. We are in this process as humanity. And I think this explains it very deeply. So if I go into that space in me, I support that others, I can be a mirror for others. I don't know if what we can do for humanity, if not just accepting this deep opening in ourselves. That's my reflections. Thank you.
Thanks.
Deep opening. The thing early on this chapter, it was talking about, the vast diversity of expression going on amongst humans on this planet. And sometimes we look at people and it's hard to accept their divinity because we look at them and we judge their actions, right? And I like the part it said about how, you can't judge someone for being confused, I believe was what it said. And it just reminds me to open my compassion for the people who I don't understand. That can be hard. And honestly, it's one of the reasons, while we were reading that, I thought this is one of the reasons why I I work downtown, I take public transportation. It's like, it's a beautiful opportunity to see a lot of different people in a lot of different circumstances. And it is a game that I play, I look from my heart to their heart. So instead of seeing the external trappings of someone who might be living a life that I find difficult to understand, I can recognize on that level the humanity and the soul oneness of people, just to remind myself, I think it's very easy when you don't really, where I live, and people just take cars everywhere and don't really mix with people who are different from them, it can be very easy to get caught up in more judgment of people who are different. So anyway, and I have my own issues with that, but I work, that's all. That's all I have to say. Thank you. I seem to be very babbly today.
I think that was, I was with you.
Thank you.
Earlier we were talking about, Mary was talking about accepting the unfoldment. And you guys all know that I'm a numerology freak. So I had to turn the phrase into what would be a high frequency, which would be a 9. So that's why I put that in the chat. Be the unfoldment is a 9. So that's it's a mantra that you could use, right? As if you find yourself in a moment of resistance to what's happening in the world,
Yes.
if you think to yourself the phrase, be the unfoldment, within that, you're also raising your frequency.
And it's beautiful because it reminds us that we have an active part in the unfoldment. You know, we're not just victims.
Right.
Passiveness. So
Right.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you. Vima, were you going to say something? I guess not. We're very close to the end of the hour. Were you going to say something, Mirko? No, I'm hearing things. I'm bringing in voices from outer space.
I have to leave. Sorry, I have to leave.
I only want to say that because we have only one or 2 minutes, that reconnecting with the last meeting with one desire, I think that the phrase that always Neale repeated, that your life is not about you, is probably the secret, because we think that when we think that we are victims, or that other are victims, etc., we are looking at our life. But we have to create, in my opinion, as in this meeting, for example, we are creating something good, because we are creating the solution when we see our creative role in the world. Because, for example, when I don't see the name of this, when we share our impressions, our solutions, you, for example, you are giving me some ideas in this moment, like for example, what can I do for others? What, a smile to a person, or a phone call to a person, invite a message to a person. In these moments, for example, we are talking of these things, and I received a message from a person that I personally don't know, but in this morning I sent a message to this girl that is a numerologist, I think in English. I had the idea to invite her to meet a person that I know. He is a coach. This man is a coach, well known. And in this moment, she wrote me that is very happy that I have improved his day today, because he felt very stressful, very lonely, etc. So it's a small small thing, very small thing. But for me, it's a little miracle because I have connected this person that has a problem, lonely, and the other person that had the solution because he is now making a Zoom call like this with other coaches, etc. So it's a small thing, but my life is not really about me. I am happy for the small things because the other girl, the other that I don't know, I never seen, but she's happy, and now I have 5 minutes of happiness. So the chapters is say that yes, we have to accept, like the other girl that I don't see in the screen now. She was telling that we have to accept and give up. It's in part it's true, but we have to have. We don't have to do big things in our life. For me,
Right.
even small things like this meeting in Sunday, or like a smile to a person, small things. I think that like a famous architect, I am an architect, and the famous architect said that goes in God is in details. I think that the lesson from today's chapter that we have to do small things in others' life. This is for me the lesson of today. I close my.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just have one last thought that just popped in my head, and that was when Bima was describing her meeting of that other woman. That's what this chapter, one of these chapters that we just read, was talking about, right? There are no coincidences. We co-created everything. And that was just a perfect example. Her telling that story of meeting that woman was just a perfect example of exactly that.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And
go ahead.
okay, and sorry, and then the whole thing. So your life is not about you, rather your life is about those whose lives you touch. That's the whole Neale Donald Walsch, and I think he even sometimes will go on to say whose lives you touch and how you touch them.
Yeah.
And just for clarification for anybody watching who's not really familiar with this material, it's not the physical touch that he's talking about there. He's talking about the intersection of your lives and how they intermingle.
Linda, for example, some minutes before this girl, I have wrote to another person that I know that recently was ignoring me or was is a woman, etc. And I received a message because today is a celebration day in Italy. I don't know in USA. And she wrote me like, have a good day, etc. Only 2 words. And I respond, how are you? And she respond me, well, I hope you, also you. So wasn't very conversational. I don't know what she have, but so the thing that you are saying, that how you touch, I did think that I have to, like Romy said before, I have to step back. I am not right anymore. I don't know what this person has in his life or his mind, but it was not very good energy, you know, like when you wrote to a person and the person respond only, I am well, I hope you. So it's not very interesting, very good exchange, But some minutes later, when we were talking, the other person wrote me that I don't know, different than this woman, wrote me that was very happy, very grateful for my simple message, very simple message. So we have two persons in the same time, one that I know quite, and the other that I don't know. One is very cold, and the other is very happy. So my way of touching these two persons is the very cold. I have left. I don't. Neale often say, "I want for you what you want for you." So this is the way we have to touch. We have to give others what they want for them. This, I think, is what we have to do.
And I think that was very well said.
And I also think that while you talked about this two-woman miracle, I just imagine that even when we connect via mail, via Facebook, whatever, on the other side, these people, you are in your life, and this person is also in her life. And sometimes when I get answers that I don't expect or I surprised, then I just think for me, okay, perhaps this person is in a special situation, and sometimes it's in traffic, or they have a struggle with some people, and sometimes after 1 day or 2 days I get an explanation. Oh, sorry, I was very short, and it might be sound a little bit unfriendly, but I had been standing there and I had to move away, or things like that. I think it's always when we hold in mind that with all our devices, we move all around all the time, and we are involved in so many different things on many times, and so that it can arrive that somebody sends you something, or by accident, or even you send some words with lots like mistakes also. I think it's just good to take it in account that the life of the other people is also going on, and she's not stepping out for answering. And there are very few people that only do one thing after the other. So many people do so many things beside. When you're answering and then the phone is ringing, then somebody comes to the door and your cat is, I don't know, I just think it's very important. And for this, I just came to my conclusion with the people I really like. I usually talk and say, let's do a call for 5 or 10 minutes, even on Zoom or so, instead of sending messages through the day. And otherwise, because we can hurt ourselves and we can hurt each other. Over.
Thank you. I think go ahead, Mary.
Sorry, I kind of missed some of what you said, Remy, because speaking of the cats and dogs and everything, my brother was delivering me some pasta with meatballs that he had left over. So I had to run down and pick it up. But it seemed like you were addressing to Mirko about not taking it personally, the way that the person responded to his message, which is one of the things from the 4 agreements. That's a really good thing to remember. And just, your responsibility is how you act and behave. So if you put something out there with a loving attitude and you feel like the other person, that's not your business. The other person's part is not your business.
Okay.
And then, how you proceed from there, that's your business. So, we just try to remember that my job is the loving communication. And you let the person have their distance if they seem like that's what they need. But, there could be another time where, as Remy was saying, it could be different. You never know. But the thing with you and the numerologist and the coach and everything was also another example of what Neale was talking about, where you might think the answer came from outside of you. Like they might look and think, oh, this guy Mirko put us in touch, but really it's their soul that called in the answer, you know, and you just facilitated. You were a facilitator, right?
And the, the irony is that these numerologies, until this day, I have sent some messages to her, and she never responded like the other person. So they are inverted in some way, no? This is the irony. So you are right. You are right when you say we don't have to. I talking for me now. Don't take personally things but the important. Your business is the energy that you project in the world. This is the only thing that matters.
Really, pretty much. And it's not linear. It's not linear is the other thing. Like when I was teaching my laughter classes, like I would put an ad on Craigslist, and then I would get more people who came not from the ad on Craigslist. They saw it somewhere else, but it's like you put the energy out there and then the response comes, and it's not necessarily linear. And that's the thing we have to let
okay.
Right?
Not from the same person. Not from the same person.
Yeah, we can't necessarily see all the strands and cause and effects of things. And so our responsibility is our energy and what we're putting out into the world, right? That's what I think.
Yes.
Well, I think we should close her down.
Yes, we probably should.
Thank you.
I'd love to keep talking, but
Life.
yeah, there's life.
Yeah. It's a good exchange. Thanks.
Mary, would you like to close us out?
I will close us out. Such a beautiful experience. Here we all are, seeming like separate people in our individual housings. And we are, that's true. That's, you know, an aspect of who we are. But in a larger sense, who we are is all aspects of the one, the source, right? So we come here together, and for this hour or so each week, we are reminded that the singularity aspect is only one aspect, and the other aspect is we are all the one, and we are all bringing the love and being the unfoldment in the world of our, what's he say, grandest version of the greatest version of the grandest vision that we have, putting that energy from our souls out into the world with the love and the compassion and the beautiful acceptance of what is, and then bringing to that our highest energy that we can in any moment to infuse the love in our corner of the world. Like we can't fix all the big problems, but I put in the chat, Mother Teresa said, do the small things with great love. And that's what we were talking about, right? Do what's in front of us with great love. Thank you all.
Thank you. That was very nice.
Thanks all.
All right, everybody. We'll see each other next week. And I love you all, and I'm glad you came. And
thank you.
Namaste.
Do the small things.
Yes.
Do the small thing.
Exactly. That's where we find the meaning, I feel.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. And thank
Okay.
you, Linda.
Thanks, guys. Love you all.
Love you.
Love us all.
Talk to you next week.
Next week.
Yeah.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.